A very good evening to all, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is the 5th December 2023, Tuesday class. So as usual, we'll be sharing from this book, the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutra. And we will gather for our physical puja. Let us compose our mind, develop the faith, Saddha, Virya, and mindfully we shall commence the puja chanting. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨。南无阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛。南无阿弥陀佛。南无弥勒佛。南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨。อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวะพุทธังภะคะวันตังอะภิวาเทมิสุภะโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมมัสสามิ สุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตุติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิตุติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตุติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิอาดินาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิกาเมสุมิชาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิมุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิสุราเมรยะปัจจาปังกตังนะเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ Okay, you all can be seated. Turn to page 3 of the chanting book. So we shall now continue our puja chanting. Okay, we will continue from Padipa Puja. Kanna sarapa diktena dipena tamadansina diloka dipang sambudang pujayami tamonudang Ganda sambara yutena Dimpena hang sukang hina Puja ye puja niyantang Puja bajana muttamang Vanna ganda guno petang Petang kusuma santati Pujayami munindasa Siri pada sarorohe Pujemi budang kusumena nena Punena metena cahotu mokang Upamina yati yata idame Kaya tata yati vinasa bhavang Adivase tuno bante Pariyam parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigang hatu muttamang Adivase tuno bante Pale parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigang hatu muttamang Adivase tuno bante Bojana parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu muttama. Now we will chant the puja aspiration based on our understanding of the significance of all this puja offering. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of lights to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness or ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses off the fires of all defilements within our mind. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue, and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense, which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami of generosity and the fruit of our karma, so that we will diligently strive on with faithfulness to attain the path and fruition as soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana. Making of overall aspiration. By the power of all these merits, born of all this offering, may our spiritual faculties of Sada, Virya, Samadhi, and Panya be further strengthened until they become balas or powers. Sharing and transfer merits to all beings. May these merits be shared by all. Oh, sorry, I read again. May these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive them. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let us pay respect to Puja. Bedang Puja. Dhammang Puja. Sanghang Puja. Okay, you all can be seated. As usual, we'll be having our half an hour of awareness-based meditation. We are off the light so that you all can develop it. So the usual instruction remain the same. Because nowadays, I think most of you know how to develop the awareness within already. So the instruction over the past few years have evolved. That's why my recent free meditation instruction has become more focused on the awareness nature, explaining it, and giving more emphasis on the four support to develop it, especially the first three plus the fourth support. The first three is for normal cultivator, and that is enough for one to develop the sainthood way, to realize all the sainthood enlightenment, first stage, second stage, third stage, and even until Arahant. So all these are possible if you develop the awareness using the first three support. And the first three support are very important, especially the first and the second support. The first support is, like I always explain, relax. Relax both body and mind. Be completely at ease. Be natural. Is completely relaxed. Then the second support is develop the awareness within. The ability to develop the awareness within is very important. That is your sati, your mindfulness, your awareness within. When you are just aware, you don't think. That's why ability to be aware is very important. And this is a quality of mind that most people don't understand. So in order to be aware, you need to be completely silent without thought. That's why my instruction is very clear. Relax, maintain awareness. Means don't try to know, don't try to do anything. Just maintain the awareness. Whatever arises, just aware. Finish. Aware. Finish. This will enable you to decondition your habitual heedless thinking, your habitual proliferation of thought, your habitual reaction to sense experience, the stirring of the mundane mind, the chattering, the verbalization, and also the mental hindrance that hinders your mind from entering the meditative state of inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness. So in order to reverse all this, we need to maintain awareness. Or like the Buddha's instruction, you cultivate the five spiritual faculty, the opposite five, to help you overcome the mental hindrance. Then you will be in the meditative state. Because your meditative state is basically your spiritual faculty of sati, leading to samadhi. Samadhi is the stability of it. When you can reach the stability of awareness, the mind becomes collected and unwavering. And that is what samadhi is all about. So initially is to develop the faith, saddha, in the Buddha and his teaching. And this one can be developed through an understanding. When you understand how special a being, how wise a being the Buddha is, he's not only enlightened, he's fully enlightened. Your faith in him becomes different. That gratitude, that respect become very, very different. It become like unshakable. Then after that, it will drive you to cultivate. Because that faith will give you the understanding that this teaching is very important. Because he is the fully enlightened one, perfect in wisdom and virtue. You can say he is the wisest and the most virtuous living being ever to be born at that time. And because of that understanding, he can summarize to us all of life into just four noble truths, the essential Dhamma of the Buddha. And these are truths which can make you noble ones or enlightened ones, Aryas. That's why once you come to understand the beauty of his teaching, you will develop the virya, the second spiritual faculty, to go all out to develop this understanding, to train your mind in the third spiritual faculty of sati, which is awareness. So sati is mindfulness or awareness before the knowing. Then you are just aware, the pure seeing, before you input the content of consciousness, before your thought process come in, before your views, opinion, conditioning, and belief system come in to interfere. Means the pure awareness, which is the pure direct seeing, can allow you to see things as they are, without words, without concept, without idea, nothing. Just the pure seeing. That's why you need the awareness. That's why I help you to understand what sati is. Sati is basically an awareness before the knowing. When you are just aware, before the perception and the aggregates of mind arise to create mundane thinking. That is what the Buddha is trying to teach you. Because he said, our mind is a forerunner of all things. Mind is chief. When mind arises, all things arise. So before the arising of mind, our nature is just the pure nature, pure awareness nature within, before the arising of thought. That's why to be in the state of awareness is to be in the state of no thought. When you are already relaxed and without thought, you already aware. You don't need to train or develop awareness differently. You only need to silence. That's why the instruction is don't try to know, don't try to do. But the doing is by the thought. The knowing is also by the thought. Then the sankhara, sanya activity is also by the thought, the aggregates of mind. Why can't you just relax body and mind and maintain awareness? Whatever arises, aware, finish. No need to know, no need to think, no need to proliferate, no need to stir and react. Assume you are completely dead. Just the awareness within. Then allow the mind to be. When you are relaxed and when you maintain awareness, the thought will lose its power to continue to proliferate, to think, to stir, to create emotion and all those things. That's why ability to relax and maintain awareness is very important. And the third support is to stabilize this awareness nature that you have started to develop. And for those who already have the ability to stay at the heart, means a free mind without thought. That is the most beautiful realization. When you can be in a state of a free mind, completely still without thought, not in a conditioned state. A free mind, the word is a free mind, not a mind that is in a conditioned state of concentration or samatha or one-pointedness or absorption or whatever. No, it's a free mind, completely free. That's why relaxation, to be at ease with a free mind, is very important. Then the ability to maintain awareness is to allow you to observe. If you don't create any more thinking or feed the thought with any more wrong view or wrong thought, then this thought will actually slow down, dissipate, and cease. Like J. Krishnamurti described it. The very flowering of that thought is the very ending of that thought. It's just like the flower. When it flowers until it cannot flower, it will start to wither. then it will start to cease. We are everything, like the Buddha said. Whatever arises, there are causes and conditions behind. They are all dependent originating phenomena, condition arising phenomena, causal phenomena. Without causes, nothing arises. So through all this understanding and silent inner awareness observation, we develop wisdom. We can see things as they are. We can insight into phenomena and awaken to the universal characteristics and develop the clear understanding of what is going on within our own form and mind. Then we will come to understand clearly how we function as a human being. What is this form and mind all about? Who are we? What are we? All this understanding leads to self-knowledge. The self-knowledge or understanding will lead to the awakening that ultimately there is no self within. The form and mind, our so-called five aggregate, is not a permanent unchanging entity that you can cling on to, grasp onto, and hold on to, and own, believing that you exist. This is me, this is I, therefore all these are mine. To realize this delusion is very important. And this is why awareness-based meditation is needed. Because without this awareness within, you cannot see, you cannot understand, and you will deludedly cling on to the atta, the egoic mind, believing that you exist. The form and mind is you. The five aggregates that arise and pass away, they are real, they belong to you. All these are delusion. That's why the Buddha gave the five analogy to describe the five aggregates as impermanent, empty, not real, not what you think. So when you silence your mind with awareness to develop the meditative understanding, you will comprehend all the essential Dhamma or teachings of the Buddha. So all the essential Dhamma, when you develop the understanding, you can link them. And they all actually come together as one full teaching. Then you will come to understand a very important aspect of the Buddha's teaching. He's managed to summarize all of his teaching into just Four Noble Truths. And these Four Noble Truths explain to us all of life, both the mundane and supramundane. Then all his other teaching, the essential Dhamma that he has taught us, all the so-called teachings of Dhamma, they actually spring off from here. Yeah. From the Four Noble Truths, all the other teaching comes about. So ability to comprehend this and realize this is a great awakening. Okay, with this, I will let you meditate on your own. 30 minutes. Then after that, I will set the alarm. You can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. Okay. Okay. Now turn to page 6 of the chanting book. We will do the invocation to the Devas. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in their entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalesu Atra Gajan tu devata saddhamang muni rajasa sunantu sakamokadang Dhamma kalo ayang badanta Dhamma kalo ayang badanta Dhamma kalo ayang badanta Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Ija charana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhammasarati Satta deva manusana Buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo Sanditiko akaliko Ehipasiko opanaiko Pajatang veditato vinohiti Subhatipano bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ujupatipano bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yayapatipano bhagavato sāvaka sangho Samicipatipano bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yadidam Chattari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ahuniyo Pahuniyo Dakineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anutarang Punyaketang Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you all can be seated and we will continue from where we stopped. We are at page 494. So today, as you all know, is Tuesday, 5th December 2023. We are at page 494, this book, the commentaries on the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutra by Master Hsuan, Volume 3, Chapter 2, Expedient Devices. Okay. When first I sat in the Bodhi Mandala in contemplation or walking about the tree for a full 3 times, 7 days, I thought over matters such as this. This wisdom which I have obtained is subtle, wonderful, and foremost. But living beings are dull-rooted, attached to sensual pleasure, blinded by delusion. Beings such as these, how can they possibly be saved? Just then, the Brahma Heaven King, means Sahampati, as well as the god Sakra, King Sakra, the 4 worldly protecting God King. Then the God of the heaven of great comfort, and the other heavenly multitudes. with retinues, numberings in the billion, reverently placed their palms together and requested the Buddha to turn the Dhamma wheel. So this one is the sutta on the path where Sakyamuni Buddha realized the enlightenment and he became a Samasa Buddha. And immediately after his enlightenment, he actually developed all this contemplation and reflection. Then after, if I'm not wrong, it's the first week. I think total of 7 weeks, I think. He was developing all this expression of gratitude towards the Bodhi tree and all those things. Then he contemplated the Paticca and all the understanding. Then he looked at past life, rebirth of beings and all those things. And because of that, after he finished, he had this understanding. How is he going to teach all this that he has realized to living beings who are so limited in their understanding and they are so ensnared or enticed by the phenomenal world of sensual desire and consciousness. So all these other things that go on. Then during that time, I think there is one Mahabrahma. I think the name is, what is the name really? I cannot recall. Just now I mentioned his name. What's the name really? Anybody can recall? Never mind. It's okay. It will come back. So this Brahma can read Sakyamuni's thought. So he asked, I think Sahampati, if I'm not wrong, Brahma Sahampati. So he came down, circumvented. Then he requested the Buddha to actually, out of love and compassion, to teach. He said, there are some with little dust in their eye who can understand his teaching. And because of that, he managed to invite the Buddha to come out and teach to the world. So all this is what was recorded in the scripture. Then now in the Mahayana scripture, we see how it goes. It's slightly different. Go back to the sharing. You bring the whole thing down to the first line of the, okay. So here when he say, when first I sat in the Bodhi Mandala, means underneath the Bodhi tree, in contemplation or walking around the Bodhi tree, where he expressed gratitude towards the Bodhi tree for shading him and providing him with such conducive condition to develop the awakening. And he said, in contemplation, while walking about the Bodhi tree for a full 3 times, 7 days, he thought over the matter such as this. The wisdom which I have obtained is so subtle, wonderful, and foremost. Means that realization of the Noble Truth, the understanding of it, all of life, both mundane and supramundane, they were so beautiful and yet wonderful, not easy to understand, subtle. Then the word foremost means there is no other teaching that can be more superior or supreme than that. Then he also know, but living beings are Tao-rooted, attached to sensual desire, blinded by Sakkayaditthi or self-delusion. Things such as these, how can they possibly be saved? Then, of course, the Brahma king, Sampati, all those things. Then it seems, according to the sutta, not only King Saka and the four heavenly gods, even all the gods of the heavens, of all the other Devarams, including all the Brahmaram, with retinue numbering in billion, means a lot of them, reverently placed their palms together and requested the Buddha to turn the Dhamma wheel. Then the Buddha mentioned, I then thought to myself, were I to praise only the Buddha vehicle, beings sunk in suffering would be unable to believe this teaching. Move it up, move it up. Okay. They would slander it out of disbelief and fall into the three evil paths. The three evil paths are the woeful rhyme. It is better that I do not speak the Dhamma, but quickly enter or realize Nirvana. So we stop here. Wait, don't move. Stay there. You see, the reason why the Buddha actually reflected and contemplated and think that way is because that ultimate teaching that he realized is the supreme vehicle. That one is so extensive, so profound, and so difficult to penetrate and understand. It involves the understanding of the original nature, the true nature, the source. Then from there, how the first thought of ignorance, that condition all the living beings to fall to what it is today, and how the universe become what it is today. These are very complicated processes. Then after this so-called creative process of samsara that manifests until instead of only thought and consciousness, it has solidified into what we call planets, world system, star system, and also all the various creation evolve out of consciousness, the form and mind. Or sometimes we call it the delusion that created the form and mind, which is the fire aggregate of form and mind. That one true delusion become the traveler in space and time, where they forgot who they are, what they are, and how they have fallen to become what it is. Then through this process, the universe actually manifests through consciousness, which is energy. Then all the star system, the elements within existence, means all of the energy, they crystallize, solidify, and become elements, the four elements. That's how the planets, the star system, then we call it the continents, the ocean, the living beings, they all are conditioned into existence. So this whole process of evolution and understanding is very, very extensive, very massive. It's impossible to teach this teaching to living beings. So what the Buddha did was, he managed to actually summarize all of these teachings into just Four Noble Truths. That's how it became the essence of his teaching. The essence of his teaching. And from there, the Four Noble Truths all the understanding that you need spring off from there, or we call it spin off from there. So these Four Noble Truths are indeed very unique truths. These are truths that can make you noble ones. That's why it's called Noble Truth. Noble ones during the time of the Buddha are called the Aryas, or the enlightened beings. And because of that, all this understanding that he has developed, when he explained this Four Noble Truths in his three turning, it actually spin off all the other essential Dhamma that he has taught us. And this one is just the initial teachings. That's why he called the expedient devices, or what we call skillful means, the preliminary teaching, or the essential superficial teachings. Yeah. So this one is like the handful of leaves that the Buddha explained to the monks. But this is enough for cultivation to develop the initial wisdom to become Aryas, to realize the sainthood way, leading all the way from Sotapanaship, Sakadagami, Anagami, until Arahantaship. But the supramundane teaching, the higher teaching, the deeper teaching, cannot be taught at that time. So this expedient device, or what we call the essential Dhamma, they are very important. That's why this teaching comes first. Then after you develop the enlightenment, then only he can arise the causes and conditions to allow all these enlightened beings who have the causes and conditions to develop the understanding of the supreme vehicle, the Bodhisattva way, leading to the full enlightenment of Sammasambuddha. And this part, that's why it's not taught in the initial Theravada teaching. It was mentioned that he himself, as a Sammasambuddha, he also went through the Bodhisattva way to develop the 10 perfection to become Sammasambuddha. Then after that, no more teaching from there. There is no detail of how he cultivated and how he developed that 10 perfection and all those things. There was Jataka story that explained how he met Dipankara Buddha that gave him the prediction and all those things. And how some of the cultivation leads to the ultimate perfection of the various 10 perfections. Like that special perfection where he realized what we call perfection of Khanti, or patience. Is that life when he met that king of Koliga, if I'm not wrong. Actually, that king actually tested him. And he was that time a bodhisattva, meditating and developing the perfection. Then, because of what he did, and the king was so angry, he wanted to actually punish the bodhisattva. So he told him, oh, you are cultivating Khanti, patience. So I want to test your patience, see how patient you are. So the Buddha said, no problem. He said, I will tie you to the 4 horses and ask my men to tear your limbs apart. Sakyamuni Buddha replied, no problem. Go ahead, O king. Then the king was very surprised. At the moment of that incident, before it really happened, Sakyamuni spoke. That time he was just a bodhisattva. He said, if he has any negative thought when this thing was done, let his limb not come back to him. But if he has no thought of aversion or the slightest negativity in the mind, means he has perfected that parami of patience or kanti. Let the limb come back to him. And when the king's soldier tear the four limbs apart, really, miraculously, the four limbs came back. Then the king got a shock, quickly descend from the horse and pay his respect and ask for forgiveness. Then the Bodhisattva said, don't worry, he said, because of what you did, he said, I vow to take you across. You will be the first to be taken across when I become a Sammasa Buddha. That's why this king of Kalinga, I think, he was actually during the Sakyamuni Buddha's period when he was born. He was one of the 5 ascetics, the youngest one, Kondanya. That's why he was the first to become a Sotapan before the Buddha Sakyamuni even finished delivering the first sermon, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. So that's how all this. So all this were mentioned actually, bits and pieces, but there is no detailed explanation of the Bodhisattva way, the 4 basic vows or nothing, until the later teaching from the Mahayana came. And then only this supreme vehicle teaching comes about. So this Lotus Sutra, the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutra, is a very beautiful sutta that explains all this. That's why for those who can develop the understanding, they will understand there are great difference between the Mahayana cultivation, the supreme vehicle cultivation, and the normal sainthood cultivation. Very, very extensive and very different. Okay, so this part, I think by now, most of Kayamita can understand. Huh? Okay, then we go to the commentaries. Huh? Before that, I just finish off the last 4 lines, huh? The last paragraph. So, okay, so sorry, the second last paragraph, I will also maybe go through it to summarize it out. The Buddha then said, I then thought to myself, if I were to praise the supreme vehicle, means the only Buddha vehicle, so living beings sunk in suffering would be unable to believe this teaching. You understand why or not? Because like I used to share with you all, the normal living being, they don't even know who they are, what they are. What is this mundane mind all about and how it conditions suffering, the evil root. All this teaching, nobody knows. Then they are so heedless. No? There is hardly anybody who even can understand what that awareness nature is. No? Not to say go into the cultivation, realize it, develop it, and expand on it, and actually evolve along until finally you fulfill the 5 stages of Bodhi mind development. So the first stage of Bodhi mind development, to aspire to go this way also, they don't have the understanding. So how to teach? There is no way they can understand. So this supreme vehicle, if he were to explain it and teach it at that time, according to the sutta, they would slander it out of disbelief. Nobody would believe you. You say you are the Sammasa Buddha, you are the wisest and the most virtuous, and you cultivated until like that. Who can understand you? And who got time for such cultivation? Aeons and aeons and aeons, and for so many birth and death. And because of that, due to that disbelief, when you don't believe, not a normal cultivator, no, a Samasa Buddha, you know what is the karmic effect or not. That's why the sutta say they would slander it out of disbelief, no, through ignorance, and fall into the three evil paths. These three evil paths are very severe, especially the three woeful states beyond or below the demon rights. That one really, beings who are born there, especially the hell right and the hungry ghost right, they really suffer. So it is better that I do not speak that teaching, but quickly go into parinibbana. So this was what the sutta was. Okay, then we will go through the outline. So initially, it's dispensing the provisional teaching, like I explained just now. Then inclination to use the great vehicle and realize that it was not appropriate at that time. Not only Sakyamuni, even I told you all before, after 1989, when my nature connect, when I came to develop the understanding, I also don't know what to do. I realize I cannot teach. Well, what I have understood is the opposite of what living beings do, especially so-called Buddhist cultivator or practitioner, Dhamma practitioner. It's not easy. Then the next one is the appropriateness of the great vehicle. At that time, it was not appropriate, not really, because living being lacks the understanding or potential. So the thought to stop that teaching. But for my case, I didn't like decide to stop or not to stop. But for me, my nature, no condition, nothing happened. Unless there is condition, this nature will manifest. That's why I just let things be. Then I go about with my life and do the thing that I like to do and continue to do. That's how all this become possible. Then for 15 years, I didn't do anything. But at least Sakyamuni Buddha no need to wait for 15 years. Immediately after the 49 days, the 7 weeks, Sahampati came down. Then this sutta, if this sutta is correct, all the Devas and all those things, the great beings up there, they requested. That's how Sakyamuni Buddha decided to come out and teach. Then the first one that he contemplated was the two teachers, Alara and Udaka, but both of them passed away. So the next most appropriate and probable disciple or beings who can understand him are the five ascetics. That's why he walked towards that direction to look for them. And it took him almost a month to walk there. Then he started his first sermon, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, followed by the Anattalakkana Sutta. And once the Anattalakkana Sutta has been spoken, all the five ascetics become Arahant. That's why it's surprisingly like very easy. Here only two sutta, all awakened. But I like explained before, these five ascetics, they have been with the Buddha in many past lives, and they have cultivated a lot. That's why they can develop the understanding so fast. Then later on, all the disciples that came to him, the devotees, even lay people, a lot of them become enlightened. But this is the provisional teaching, the sainthood teaching, which is relatively much easier to understand and to develop the awakening and the cultivation. And from there, you have the causes and conditions to go the supreme vehicle or the bodhisattva way, and then it will manifest appropriately and in accordance with causes and conditions. And then all these beings that have gone on this path, they can actually move on to the supreme vehicle. And during that time is different because they have already realized the initial wisdom followed by the sainthood way enlightenment. Then from there, when they have the causes and conditions to meet up with great beings or teachers who can guide them, teach them, explain to them the Bodhisattva way, the supreme vehicle way, especially all this Mahayana Sutta, when you have developed the faith, then with the sincerity and perseverance, you try it out. Then you will be able to actually develop the causes and conditions to go this direction. And all this can become possible. Okay, we go to the commentary now. So commentary. The sutta says, when I first sat in the Bodhi Mandala, so Kemani Buddha says, when he had just become the Samasa Buddha and was sitting in the field of the way, means the way place where he cultivated Bodhi Mandala. The Buddha stayed beneath the Bodhi tree for 49 days. Yes, the Theravada Sutta also mentioned 49 days. This one, Mahayana Sutta also 49 days. Then in contemplation, the Sutta says, or walking about the Bodhi tree, is after he became the Samasa Buddha, he contemplated the past causes and conditions and also the future causes and conditions. Sometimes he walked around the Bodhi tree. And on the one hand, these are good exercise. This one added by Hsuan. And on the other, it served to bring the thought of the heart together so that it did not become scattered. And this also by Hsuan. So, but as a Buddha, the way he understand things, contemplate things, reflect on things is very different. Because his mind is so different. The mundane mind collapses. Only the supramundane mind, the nature, and his understanding, that one will shine forth. So the Buddha's heart is basically, according to Hsuan, not scattered. You ask, so why did he need to walk about? He did it as an example so that other living beings can imitate him in the cultivations of the way. So this one is also Hsuan's commentary explanation. But actually, I recall after 1989, especially after 2004, when Yun Chan first came to me to ask me to come out and teach and share. So that time, before I agree, I actually rejected her 3 times. I said no. I said it's okay. Let things be. When the causes and conditions are there, I say this nature will know that it will come out. So after I rejected her 3 times, suddenly inside something moved her. My nature tell me, hey, it's about time that you come out. Causes and conditions are really there. Then I hesitated because it's just like what the Buddha knew. This style of teaching is so profound, so difficult for living being to understand. Then like I shared with you all just now, everything that I came to realize, almost 100% of it, is the opposite of what living being do. So to them, everything is like very real. Like there is permanency, can be owned, can be cling on to, can be grasped. You can like own them, possess them, have them, and develop the joy of all this so-called high level of sensuality and evolution of civilization. And the conditioned world is full of this duality and so-called enticing phenomena that can actually ensnare the living being. And finally, of course, it will condition suffering. Then everything I came to perceive or to become aware of It's no more like before with the mundane mind, full of views, opinion, conditioning, belief system, and all the whatever mind state, memory, even your scars of memory, your so-called fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and lamentation, even your insecurity, then all of those mind states that actually trap living being. And we call it the phobia, trap phobia, and all those things. So all this is what actually binds the living being because of accumulation. Accumulation leads to clinging, grasping, holding on, and believing these are all real, can be owned. So because of that, I realized it's not possible to teach. That's why I waited also. But I took 15 years because I actually connect ahead of time. Yeah, by the time I have all this understanding, a lot of living beings that have affinity with me, they are not ready. They are not ready. You have to wait for 15 years, like Huining, 16 years, means you have to wait. So this is what happened, okay? But then what I want to explain is the contemplation part. After 2004, when Yun Chan came to me, then I reflected, I said, how can I know, how can I develop the ability not to allow all the deluded living being to actually, like what the Buddha mentioned in the stanza. You go back to the stanza earlier on, the last paragraph. No. Okay. They would slander it out of disbelief. Because what I teach is also complete opposite, So when I came out to teach, I never teach the Dhamma. I teach general knowledge, I remember the year 2004. They talk about tsunami. Now I go back to just now the page. Don't move yet. I need to explain all this. They talk about tsunami and all those things. Then after a few weeks, a few sessions, they become interested. Then Yu Chan approached me. They want you to speak the Dhamma. Oh, you seems to know a lot. He said, and then I said, okay, Dhamma can. I said, so what Dhamma you want me to speak on? So Yin Chan said, up to you. Then I was at this Vipassana at the branch there, the Kanan upstairs. Then I saw on the wall, there is a frame poster, I think, on the five ascetic with the Buddha teaching the first sermon. Then I realized that is good. I said, so I will use that as the first title for the Dhamma Sharing. So Yin Chan said, good. Then I said, can you find me a book where I can read the sutta? I haven't read the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. I know there is such a sutta, but I haven't read it. So Yun Chan said, no problem. He got a chanting book. So he gave me the chanting book with the translation. That's how I saw the three turning inside there. Then I realized the English translation not that accurate, but good enough. So that's how I started. Actually, I was lucky because the framework of the Buddha's teaching, the Four Noble Truths, the three turning, the essential Dhamma, that were the provisional teaching. That's why with that, I started to teach. Then I thought they need the Dhamma. So what happened was when I start teaching the 5 aggregate of form and mind and all those things with the three turning, hardly anybody understood what I said. The three turning that correspond to the three type of wisdom, Sutta Maya Panya, first turning, and Cinta Maya Panya, second turning, then the third turning, Bhavana Maya. They all liabu cannot understand. Then, especially the 5 aggregate of form and mind, the first noble truth final summary, they find it so difficult. Then the three turning. Then after teaching for almost a year, then I realized, I even told some of them, whoever who can understand what I share, even 10% of it, is already very good. Then finally, I have to actually reverse my teaching. I cannot go into the teaching of all the understanding that I had realized. So I go back to the essential Dhamma. That's why I start off with a basic understanding of the Four Noble Truths. I explain the First Noble Truth, especially the first turning. I did a lot. Then later on only I can go into the second turning. But while I do the first turning, I try to explain all the essential Dhamma, the three evil roots, then the five spiritual faculty, then the five mental hindrance, then the five daily contemplation, then followed by all the important Dhammapada verses. Dhammapada verse 1, 2, 21, 22, 23, verse 183, and his last advice before his parinibbana. Apamadena Sampadeta means strive on with heedfulness. That was his last advice. So all this took a while. That's why after that, the teaching comes to be. Then all the other causes and conditions, actually they start to fall into place. But in the initial year, even after 2004, when I came out, the initial phase, 2004 to 2008, I remember that, 4 years. The first batch that came, because of some karmic past, something happened. Then I think a section of it, a group of it, about half of them or one, they actually left. Then new appropriate causes and conditions arise. At that time, like I told you all, Maitreya came. Initially, it was Kuan Yin, then Maitreya. So after Maitreya came, the split happened. No, it's meant to be. No, if not, I won't be coming out to teach all the other what we call the second batch and all those that came later, like you all, most of you all. So because of that, Subang, Sui An, Mi Fong, Eng Pi, they all together with the rest from SS2 and other areas. All these who have affinity, they came. Then the teaching again take off. But during 2004 to 2008, a lot of things were not there yet. They only use cassette tape to record my talk. Then to do a transcript, it take a very long time. That time, no computer. You have to listen, rewind the tape and listen again. Now with the computer also, it take you so long. You remember that tape, and you got only one tape. Everybody share. It's not like now. You can break it down 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then everybody do. That time, one miserable tape only. And that tape, if you sometimes don't know how to wind it and all things, it get entangled inside that thing. Then you have to salvage it. Yeah. Then that time, don't have the computer to type like that. They had to write. Then like what Beng Lim did now. Yeah, PG also same. He said, but still we have to type it out. So you got to go and type. Then after that, edit and send it to me. I have to edit again. I have to put it into the computer format again. But luckily, after doing so many books, I already quite familiar. So now I know how to set the thing already. But it still take a while. Not easy. So because of all this, if we become what we are also is actually another miracle. For the website, everything to come out, and for all the short video to come out. And like recently when Chin Hao shared with me about our website, actually I was quite surprised. there was also, of course, a lot of joy. Where YouTube got a very good feedback now, information for your YouTube video. The last one that we had, the last month, November, surprisingly, the search in viewer and people who actually came to the website and read all the what they call so-called short video or listen to all the short video. 85% of them are new. New people, never hear my teaching before. Then the heat suddenly shot up. Within that month, normally this type of Dhamma, not much people listen. 5,000 over listen. Then what happened was, according to that one, he said there were a lot of good compliments. Those who like and share, almost 100 over to 200. That's why suddenly this happened. And you know why? Because I reflect back, actually our retreat was in October. The short video came out. It's actually beginning of November, end of October and beginning of November. Then according to that survey from YouTube, most of them, they listen to, they like one other latest one, the new one, means the November towards the end one, which actually Jin Hao asked me to go through. Then I edited some of the title, then he sent out. Well, that one is all very beautiful. That one was from my earlier sharing about the Bodhisattva way of saying. Then inside there were explanation about the Theravada tradition and the Mahayana tradition and how they complement each other and all that. And these are the things that leads to the understanding of the essence of the Buddha's teaching, or how the provisional teaching link up to the ultimate teaching and how they are interconnected and complement each other where you have the understanding. So all this, I think a lot of these new people, they never heard before and they like it so much. That's why all came out beautifully. So these are the causes and conditions behind the arising of all this. And like I used to share with Jina, very recently he helped Sui out on this Zoom thing. So he meet me quite often. And we often go for supper and also dinner or lunch. And we discuss a lot of things that he was full of joy. So all this, when you understand, you will become amazed how all these things can happen and how all this can fall into place. Okay, go back to the sharing. I haven't finished. Go down. Okay. So that one I told you, Xuanhua's version, the commentary on the contemplation, why he walked around the tree and all those things. Because I remember when I was doing that, after I started teaching, then after that class, I came back. But from the way these people ask me questions, my nature knew they cannot comprehend, they cannot understand. So what happened was when I was back at home, I realized at the brain there, last time in the early days, when I share whatever thing that I want to know, yes, among some Dhamma friends, sometimes they ask me questions. Best fellow Dhamma practitioner, that group which was with me when I was cultivating from 86 to 89. They actually talked to me. Then most of the time before my Monday might collapse, after the discussion, I remember I come back, the brain up here, the Sankara activity is inside there, but because I have the awareness, I can see them, the movement and all things. Then I need to stabilize all those, otherwise it will continue to affect me until 9 months later, when the Monday mind collapsed. Then only I understood why. Then no more Monday mind, no more this type of movement. Then the mind like no more mind, like pure inside the head. The Subramanya mind is so fine, just pure awareness. Then when I reflect, so easy, I only need to walk around my house. I didn't go to a tree. No need. So I just relax and walk. Then I just throw out the inquiry like the second turning. How can I allow living being to understand? And then one by one, the nature there give rise to the understanding. He said you must go back to the essential Dhamma, like the Noble Eightfold Path. First, Noble Path factor, right view. Go, explain one by one. Then right thought, right speech, right. This is to actually develop the new understanding. Yeah, I realized the book, all the so-called Theravada texts, and most of the books written, they have standard Dhamma. Standard Dhamma, which is not the real teaching. It's like knowledge based on, thought based on, not much understanding of the cultivation. That's why I told you, right thought is not just the four Brahmavihara. I say it's more important to understand what is wrong thought rather than trying to understand what is right thought. Because the absence of evil is good. You have to avoid all evil. So don't try to be good at this. When you understand that the three evil roots are the root of all evil, then your mindfulness should be focused on rooting out the evil root. That's why the four right effort come in and all those things. So the meditation, training, the teaching all slowly evolve out and become deep. Initially, I cannot do away method and technique. I have to allow. I say whatever method and technique, no problem. You do whatever you are familiar with. You do, because it's not the method and the technique that defines the meditation. Method and technique are just series of instruction to do things. It's nothing to do with the meditation as taught by the Buddha, which is basically based on the Fourth Noble Truth. It's the Noble Eightfold Path. Whatever you do in the name of meditation is that if it does not take you back to the cultivation of the Noble Eightfold Path factor, you are not doing the meditation as taught by the Buddha. But these are the Noble Eightfold Path factor that make you enlightened. The Arya have the embodiment of these Noble Eightfold Path factors. And according to the Buddha, the Fourth Noble Truth is that you cultivate this Noble Eightfold Path, it will lead to the end of all suffering. That is what enlightenment is all about, isn't it? To be free from all suffering. That's why this is the meditation. And the Buddhist community didn't realize this. They still think vipassana and all those things. All the fantastic jhana, jnana, and all that thing. So that was the things that my nature has to develop understanding to overcome, to let living being understand, practitioner, cultivator all the way to understand. So these are the history part. That's why when I read this sutta, I knew why Sakyamuni also hesitated. Okay, so now we go back to the sutta. I move a bit more. We have to end already. So the contemplation part I explained already. You can walk anywhere. No need around the tree. No need in the park or what. It's not scattered thought. It's when you walk mindfully, you are composed. Even before your Monday mind collapse. So what you need is, they call it the what they call creative nature. Creative nature means not much thinking inside there. You are relatively peaceful, calm, tranquil, and the setting is conducive, like in a house, quiet place, relax. You just walk, then you throw out whatever you want to understand, the inquiry. That's why the second turning is very important, the inquiry. Then the next part of the sutta says, for a full 3 times 7 day, means 3 times 7 for 21 days, the Buddha thought over the matters such as this. What matters? The matter concerns with teaching and transforming living beings. Then the sutta says, the wisdom which I ordain is subtle, wonderful, and foremost, but living being are down-rooted. The wisdom that he has realized is superb. But the dispensation or the disposition of the living beings are exceedingly down. They are really quite stupid. So attached to sensual pleasure, blind by Sakkaya-ditthi, they are attached to, and he used the word seduce. Actually, it is not the right word, but you can take it literally, like you are seduced by the female or the male, the other sex. Seduced by the sensual desire before their, not eyes, senses, and are blinded by their own stupidity, means Sakkaya-ditthi. Being such as this, whose stupidity or Sakkaya-ditthi covers them completely, how can they possibly be saved? Means they are deluded. But Mahayana used the word stupid or stupidity. You cannot blame them actually. Because they have no wisdom, no Dhamma understanding. Their inherent wisdom has been smothered by their delusion and desire. Beings like these are as if blind. What can be done to save these deluded living beings? To make them understand. Just as he was he was thinking about this. And then the Brahma Sahampati came down, I think. Okay, we stop here. Okay, so now we'll continue with our second session. So second session is about meditation reporting, followed by whatever question you may have. And also you can share whatever topic that interests you or even what we discussed today.
Brother Tiêu, Mr. Steele, 大家晚上好。
晚上好。
要 share 什么呢，Brother Tiêu？
什么都可以啊，因为你是蛮久 with me 啊，你知道那个历史啊，刚才我讲的啊，以前我教的东西，你们不大懂的，even the two aspect of the five, your form and mind, then the three turning, all this were not taught one, so like very contradictory to what you all learn. Even 你 later on 跟我讲，你在那个 place where you learn your meditation, what they teach you, the emphasis is so different from what the Buddha actually teach. They all they follow their way, their standard teaching, the recording and all those things, and keep on repeating. Then the 10-day retreat, 30-day retreat, and they keep on doing those things. Whereas the actual understanding of what is meditation is very important, and what is sati, and how the teaching evolved, the three turnings and all those things, and the paticca samuppada, not according to commentaries of the books and all those things. Then how to actually develop the understanding of the two aspects of the mind. That basically as a human being, the five aggregate is actually the second aspect of the mundane mind, which is the mundane mind. The second aspect of the five aggregate of all mind is the mundane. The first aspect as a human being is easy to understand. Then how to break down the aggregates of mind to develop the clear understanding of the essential Dhamma. So all this I realized were not taught. The emphasis of the Dhammapada verse were not there. The importance of heedfulness, starting with mindfulness, stabilizing it, all these are not taught. That's why it's not easy. Then 后来你们才了解 that as you understand, I teach more. As you understand, I teach more. Then I realized J. Krishnamurti's teaching was not bad, because my last guy also, he loved J. Krishnamurti's teaching. The other teaching he really is he don't know what they are trying to tell him. He only like J. Krishnamurti. Then I was feeling funny. I said, who is this J. Krishnamurti? I haven't heard before. Until later on, when he gave me some of his tape which he listened to. So one of the things that I listened was the initial year in 1989, where it was mentioned by J. Krishnamurti acting according to memory is not acting at all. Wow, when I heard that, my heart was full of joy. Yeah, at that time I already knew about this memory thing. This is knowledge, accumulated knowledge. That's why even Jared, Christie's father, Adeline's husband, he also knew. He said, still, I have been to all the Mahayana. I asked them about the second noble truth or the fourth noble truth. Why the Mahayana say accumulation? 苦集灭道, you remember? 集 is accumulation, no? Whereas Theravada is different, no? Dukkha samudaya. Samudaya is the cause of arising or suffering, no? It's not accumulation, no? Then nobody can explain to him, no? Until he had me. Then when I explained to him about the memory accumulating all your causes and conditions from your past, all of life that you have gone through means all of life experiences, good or bad, you accumulate inside your brain and memory. And this becomes knowledge. And what are these knowledge? Your views, your opinion, your conditioning, your belief system, your phobia, your insecurity, all your negativity of mindset, your psychological memory especially. Of course, there are also some good memories of happy time or a very eventful occasion and all those things. But all these are accumulated knowledge. These are not wisdom. No, that's why acting according to memory is not acting at all. Then I realize the monks, most of them are correct in memory. Then all the scholars, all those who study the Buddhist teaching by heart using memory, we call it Dhamma knowledge. They are all correct in memory. Hardly anybody talk about mindfulness or sati, with the understanding of what real sati is, except a few teachers like Krishnamurti, Eckhart Tolle, the power of now, awareness. They use the word awareness, which to me is a more appropriate word. So sati, you translate as mindfulness, I explained, is not appropriate. So all this actually happened at that time. Then like Song also knew he came. He also met my last teacher. But at that time, he can't understand. The first 5 years or 6 years, can't understand. But later on, when the Heart Sutta book came out, the appendix at the back there, where I go through the whole of J. Krishnamurti's actually verses that were so beautiful. That one helped him. He took that one. He only took the appendix 6 or what, I forgot already. On the J. Krishnamurti code and all. He went to Acharananda, Rayo. They call the temple what already? Wat Macham. Then that Kuan Yin statue there, they got the chanting. Then somehow the chanting actually trigger off the connection. Then that chanting keep on vibrating in his heart. Then when that thing happened, he suddenly like connect. Then because he brought the notes there, then every night he read. As he read, he start to understand when he start to connect with the heart. That's why after that he came back, he was full of joy. Then I told him, I said, after this, once you are connected, technically he don't need a teacher. He can learn all this by himself, but it will take him a long time. But if he have a good guy or a good teacher, he can cut short his understanding. It's just like for me, when I came, I have my passes, causes and condition, cultivation, all that. So when I came, I actually don't need teacher. I can understand very fast. But I need my last guy who supposed, because of my vow, came to me to show me the gateway so that I can cut short my training. Because for me, in my past, wherever there is truth, I listen, I understand. I listen. But to go the Bodhisattva way, to speed up the cultivation, you must realize the gateway. You must connect to the gateway fast. Otherwise, it will take you a long time to look for it. After you become Arahant also. it will take you a long time. That you don't have the causes and conditions to go to Bodhisattva way. You don't even know that there is a gateway. You cannot realize the true mind and locate the gateway to go in and realize that nature inside. You cannot illuminate that nature, and you cannot develop the higher cultivation, the extensive cultivation. That's why all these need causes and conditions. So based on this, you can add in whatever you want or ask any question. So,
刚才你在讲那个explain 那个 Buddha 他怎样开始去教那个 Dharma， 对，他从那个四圣谛里面慢慢的去
the
off 那个
the essential Dharma 全部出来。
对，
比如你一教菩萨道啊，你怎样去 understand the four circle 啊？How all creation started, or like the 楞严经这样啊 ？Everybody will say you are crazy, you are mad，没有人会相信你的。That's why now you start to understand.
这个就让我想到 bro， 就以前我们刚来这个 class 的时候 ，bro 就也是从很 basic 的那个 essential Dharma start，一直讲那些five hindrances，five spiritual faculty，three
inward roots，
对
，five daily contemplation，
一直从
然后 Dhammapada verse，emphasis is on heedfulness。
所以一直在那边去 develop 我们的那个basic 那个 foundation 的那个 understanding，然后再加上一直给我们很多的那个 faith，给我们很多的那个 encouragement，所以变成大家就慢慢的去 build up 那个 understanding，去 cultivate。Then lately 就可以看到了我们的 teaching 又 move to another
phase，awareness nature，
对。
So 现在的全部是 90% awareness nature to understand that nature. No more the essential Dhamma 那边，变那个 most of the Kayamita all understood already.
但是这个essential Dhamma 是一个很重要的一个 base 去 support， 跟一个很重要的一个 understanding， 来 lead 我们 to move until 我们的今天的这个 teaching，especially 这个六祖坛经的那个三个那个 hallmark 尤其那个no thought， 听起来很不容易，但是 bro 就你的 teaching， 你的 sharing 一直给了我们很多的这个aspirations 让我们很有信心的一直去 cultivate。
Then also 那个 no thought 以前我不敢 straight away take you to that thing 好像会能这样，不能够 because all the method and technique 你记得吗？那个时候 so strong，even 你那个果因卡的 method 那些全部也是用那个 method technique and teacher， 全部都是用那个 vipassana 啦、jnana 啦、16what they call jnana knowledges all this. So at that time, these were commonly accepted by the Buddhist community. How can you suddenly teach no method, no technique? I tell you, everybody will run away. Nobody will believe you. Who are you? You are not even a monk. That's all. A lay person. And no title, nothing. And how can I teach that? That's why I welcome all. I say, whatever method, technique is just a skillful means. Initial skillful means to train your mind, to develop sati, then stabilize it. You see the one? Anapanasati also say, I say, you rising, falling, whatever. Finally, you will come to the silent mind. That is what pasati is. Tranquility of mind, still the silent mind. And that is Huineng's first hallmark, no thought. 无念的境界. And now you reflect back, you realize, this is how. And you think easy to evolve all those understanding. We are living being like that, exactly like Sakyamuni Buddha under the Sutta mentioned. 无明无明真的那个 Sakaya Ditti the Avijja, wow, really heavy. Well, like I explained, they can't even see the mundane mind. And how can they come to an understanding that there is another mind, which is a supramundane or the true mind, that is just the awareness nature without thought. But that nature create thought so fast, understand? 一下子就everything come out, and through memory worse. What is thought? Respond to memory. You accumulate so much memory. And 那个全部 trigger of thought. That's why I ask a lot of them, can you not think? My classmate, they all told me, say, you must be mad, man, not to think. He said, you cannot stop thinking on the thinking just come. I said, no such thing as just come. Because you are heedless, you don't understand, you don't know how to relax, maintain awareness, and allow it to return to its original state, settle down. That's why I had to use all these example, the swimming and the float. Without the float analogy for method and technique is very good. If you need method and technique to anchor your awareness, it's like you use float to swim. That's all. So without the float, can you swim? That is the key one. Means without the object of meditation, can you be aware? That's why I use the word the free mind in the state of awareness without thought. Can you do it? You can't. If you are so used to the float, without the float, you scared you will sink. That's why at that time it was not easy. And at that time, I tell you, hardly anybody understood all this. So 看回去啊，现在你慢慢了解了，then later on 啊，你们的 stability or understanding 也不一样。Then when you teach 啊，become very easy already。没有问题了的。那个时候，因为你看过这么多了啊，so extensive 啊，then 你自己有 progress 啊，你有 connect 了啊，all these are very very easy to understand. 以前啊，不能够 even discuss or talk about it because people will look at me like that. What is going on? All the teaching that I came to realize, if I were to share direct, like what the Buddha said, nobody will understand. They will say you are crazy. Then they will commit negativity of karma. That's why in order to prevent that, I set the 3 conditions. No authority, no right, no wrong. Then make use of whatever with due respect for each other's cultivation. Use whatever that benefit you to cultivate. Finish. Otherwise, 很多会 challenge 你 argue and all things. That's why at that moment when I decide to come out, I already knew all this will happen. That's why I set the 3 conditions. And I told you, just call it a Dhamma discussion, not a one-way traffic. But later on, of course, people invite me to the temple. They call it Dhamma talk. I also have to accept the word Dhamma talk. But I always say whatever I share is based on what I understand. So you don't have to believe me. So all these are what they call individuals' understanding. So when we understand what is sharing, then it becomes beautiful. That's why I had to let people know about the 3 conditions that I said. No authority, no right, no wrong. Then we respect each other for what we understand. Then from there, we take whatever that is useful for us to actually develop the cultivation. So that was why all these years, so far so good. And no problem at all. So next year already 20 years old, since 2004. Actually 是一个不容易 achieve 的那个condition or what we say track record that can enable us to evolve until the website, the video, the short video, and a lot of the Dhamma sharing and all this what we call the Dhamma jam. It's all inside our transcript book, the Sutta book, and also our website recording. Then we have the video, the audio, and also about our activity, everything, and our objective, and also what we call websites mission. Then how the setup become Kayamita, Bhatil Kayamita, and all those things. They were clearly explained inside there. So whoever go in and read, they will understand that this grouping and the teaching that came out from this grouping is different from normal one. Totally 不一样的。 全部都是 Dhamma friend 我有啊 and there is no right and wrong or rigidity in all those things. It's an informal organization. You can come, you can go, you can join anybody. There is no restriction that you must always commit yourself to anything. No. That's why all this so-called understanding need to be incorporated in order for this particular what we call the Dhamma grouping to actually trigger off the causes and conditions for it to continue to evolve and flourish. Then it can be a blessing to all, like what we have stated the objective part of the website. 你 continue.
Berarti 你这我跟 Berarti 你学了佛法11年，这11年里面 Berarti 你用了很多的很好的那种example，很好的 quote，很好的那些 Dharma，一直去lead我们，一直让我们从很 basic 的那种 understanding，一直去 evolve 到变成这个 three hallmarks。真的是不容易哈，这个 three hallmarks 能够 understand 哈，
不容易的
因为如果没有 basic 的那种 understanding， 对，尤其是对佛法的那种的了解，它的那个 essential 的 Dharma，你这样子直接去 no talk 的话，哇，真的是
做不到
真的是不容易，
做不到，除非你前世因啊，
然后就我 share 一个我在 Cameron 的一个 experience， 就是当那天 就你在 share 那个12因缘法的时候，那个下午，我在听你一直在讲那个Avijja Paccaya Sankhara Paccaya， 然后那个 Vijnana， 然后 Vijnana Paccaya 那个 Namarupa， 你在 explain 完了以后，我可以明白，然后我的这个 heart 这里就一直 vibrating， 它慢慢就打开来，一直 vibrating， 这样一直打开，慢慢的一直打开，一直打开，一直打开。因为那个时候不是就你一 explain 完了以后，我就 recall 我 one month retreat 里面的那个 silent 的那个 experience，我就明白了什么叫做 Sankhara，什么是 Vijnana，尤其那个 pure awareness，那个 pure awareness 你一定要做到，你才能够知道是什么。That's why 你只是在 discussion level，
is knowledge
level。
不要你看到那个 pure awareness 了then 你也看得到那个 input or the content of consciousness from memory one， 你看到很清楚的那个 views opinion the habitual living beings mind has been like that. They act according to memory for so long, and that is the only instrument, the mundane mind, that they can use to act. And the memory is the only data that they have, their views, their opinion, their condition. This is what they are, and this is reality, So this is egoic. This is not wisdom. But this one cannot realize yourself. This one grabs onto the ego. You think you exist. You believe you are real. Then you believe the phenomenal world is so beautiful, so enticing, so worthy of like going after it. Just like those who are very strong in their ambition, their desire to be successful, to be wealthy, to be powerful, famous. So they go the various mundane way to achieve it without understanding the nature's law of karma that governs and control all this. That's why when they go into this aggressively, they entangle themselves, the evil root hit back, the karmic hit back. That's why a lot of living beings suffer. That's why you now, with the understanding, you see all this, then you realize, no wonder acting according to memory is not acting at all. But this is all acting according to your fear, your belief system, your rubbish. It has nothing to do with wisdom, nothing to do with the Dhamma. There is no right view at all. So now, acting according to wisdom, which is the Dhamma way, born of the Sakyamuni Buddha's teaching, which is law of karma. That's why when you have that right view, you will understand why the advice of the Buddha become like that. because of this law of karma, the 5 daily. That's why all the teaching that he teaches, they say, you realize are all connected to this right view one. Then the Paticca Samuppada also connected to this right view one. Yes, about how your mind functions, how you function as a living being. The 四因缘法 is the mind, dependent originating. From mind is a forerunner of all things. When mind arrives, all things arrive. So all the phenomenal world, the creation, the whole universe, the existence, all from there. Then it becomes, hey, from here it comes. That's why during your 1 month retreat, when you are in that silent state, you can see the dwelling very clearly. And from there, you understand, no, not through knowledge anymore, no. It's through the direct vision, no, direct seeing, no. The mind that can be at the moment of consciousness, then the next moment is a contango in. Then when the contango in with your wisdom, you realize you cannot stir and react like last time. Then you realize what the Buddha meant by the Arya or the Arahant. When they become Arahant, their aggregates are pure aggregates. Understand? Feeling remain as pure feeling. No more grasping, no more clinging. Then that delusion no more. The avijja no more. Then the yoniso manasikara, the wisdom born of Dhamma training, they will prompt you. Sabbe sankara anicang. Straight away you're not deluded already. Understand? Rupang anicang, rupang anatta. So you cannot grab, you cannot cling. Vedana also say, Sanya also say, all this got no more meaning already. Then the analogy of the Buddha, consciousness is like a magician. Huh? Wow, then you see all the creation. You open your eye, the creation here. You listen, the creation is there. The hearing consciousness, the seeing or smelling. Then you realize all these are consciousness. That's why it's a phenomenal world. When you grasp and cling with delusion, you get entangled. But when you have that understanding, then you realize what Kuan Yin said. 照见五蕴皆空. When he illuminated the 5 skandha, he realized they were all empty. That's not. Empty means what? No reality, no ego, not a permanent unchanging entity, not you. They are all dependent, originating, condition arising. Understand? Also phenomenon. 不是一个 atta 来的 not a permanent unchanging entity. You say, this feeling is me, this feeling is I. If that is the case, when feeling change from pleasant to unpleasant, did you die? You didn't die. So how can feeling be you? Understand? That's why all this empty nature, 照见五蕴皆空，全部都是空性的。你的色、受、想、行、识 the 5 aggregates, they are all empty. No reality. Feeling come and go, you didn't die. How can it be you? Understand? Perception come and go, you didn't die. Thought, activity, mental states, mental intention, mental formation, everything arises and passes away, didn't die. Consciousness appear and disappear, you didn't die. So how can they be you? The mental form enter and cease. How can they be you? Physical body, 4 elements, no knowing, goes away. How can it be you? 在照见五蕴皆空，这个五蕴是空性的，它是因缘法嘛 ，dependent on it. So, if once you awaken to this, you are not deluded already. Then you understand why I say this is karmically conditioned out for us to come to this existential world to use. Just like Hui Neng, when Wu Ju explained to him that this mind, yeah, you have to learn to use it. And yet not be deceived. That is the meaning of that mind, the mundane mind, as a tool for you to use, not to be deluded by it, not to grasp at the aggregates. So, 一阵子 like suddenly flip over from here, which is avijja, it becomes clarity. Like everything becomes clear. Just within that moment, split second, the awareness nature shine forth. Then you awaken. That's why 那个 1 month retreat before you went, I already hinted to you very likely if you continue to relax silent and stabilize your awareness nature, then you will benefit, you will understand a lot of things. That's why after that you have the condition to understand the retreat, 四二因缘法. And the 四二因缘法 very important. When you see that, it is not knowledge anymore. It's like you awaken to that reality. 你悟到了的，哇，原来是这样啊 ！No reality one. It's just like the physics experiment. Upon contact, that consciousness light bulb light up. 没有东西的哦 ，Hey no you, hey no me 哦，没有一个人在里面哦，是。That's why it's a pure vijnana. And then the content when it becomes the grasping ingredient, where they act according to memory. But when you act according to Dhamma, which is the Yoniso Manasikara, wisdom at the moment, that this Dhamma prompt you, no. This Dhamma give you the wisdom, no, not to be deluded by it. That's why Rupang Anicang, Rupang Anatta, Vedana Anicang, Vedana Anatta. Everything become very clear. Then all the chanting that the Buddha teach you, oh, so beautiful. No? Then the essential Dhamma, the whatever teaching, even the simple teaching like what he told Asaji, whatever arise, there are causes and conditions. Just from that stanza, you become at least Sotapan. You will trigger. With that one, explain to you, 一切有为法，因缘法. Whatever arise, there are causes and conditions. Means without causes and conditions, nothing arises. Means this phenomenal world is a dependent originating world, condition arising world. 因缘法. That's why 有为法、无为法, both the condition and the unconditioned, you must understand. That's why the Xing the Heart Sutta coming. That's why the whole teaching is connected one, but living being cannot understand. 看不到、悟不到、了解不到。But 你们慢慢，现在的 progress 啊，你听我讲这一段 recorded one 啊 you will break free again one. You will develop a lot of understanding again. That's why 这几个月的那个 short video, you must go and listen. All the Tuesday class, Thursday class, Sunday class, they are very beautiful because the movement is towards the awareness nature. 要去了解六祖的那个 three hallmark of cultivation. Continue. 剩下 1 minute 啊，你 summarize. Take a few minutes 啊，那么。
这个布达达嘛，很 beautiful.
Yeah, wonderful.
很 wonderful. 对的。
So
actually, teaching is there.
Yeah.
Guidance is there. 我们的老师也有在。只是我们要 put in the effort. 要有 faith 的去 cultivate. 当我们很有faith 的去 cultivate 的话，你会 realize, 你会 understand. 当你 realize 的时候，你的 understanding 是不一样的。那个东西不一样，那个东西是没有 wording。
You will understand life differently.
对。所以我希望我们的每一个的这个感恩大家都能够在努力的让我们一起去 progress， 因为我们是一个total 的那个 consciousness， 所以我们大家support each other， 然后让我们一起的去 progress。当我们能够penetrate， 当我们能够去 understand 这个real Buddha Dharma 的时候，这个 real happiness 真的是很完整。
好像我在 Thursday class 跟爸爸师弟跟你们讲了，a few years from now, when we discuss life or talk about Dhamma different already, where the understanding has become so different. 这个佛法真的真空妙有 ，really 很奥妙 ，very wonderful. When you understand the teaching, you understand life. When you understand life, you know how to live life. Understand? That's why 他的 Dhamma 是 three phases of Dhamma. Pariyati, the learning of the teaching. Then putting it into practice, Patipati. And then the third phase of Dhamma, Pativeda, is the reaping the holy fruit of your cultivation. Means when 你悟到了，你 realize 了，you get to live the third phase of Dhamma, which is the life of an Arya, an enlightened being, or a Bodhisattva. 那个是最出色 and 最 meaningful 的 aspect of Dhamma, the life, means ability to comprehend, understand, and live it. And then you suddenly realize the real Dhamma is a living Dhamma. And the living Dhamma is so unique. Because this living Dhamma is not like other type of Dhamma. It has its meaning or no. Not just like the unconditioned Dhamma understanding. He know you, he know me. No one born, no one die. That one is the unconditioned Dhamma. But this conditioned world Dhamma, despite all this rubbish, the memory like the lotus pond, so dirty. But when you are above the lotus pond, it's so beautiful. From the lotus pond you came, yet the filthy, the dust, or the delusion, or does not affect you. Then the lotus that stand out with that understanding becomes so beautiful. Then you live life with that understanding. Then life becomes so different, so meaningful. Take a turn. Then you get to experience all of the wonders, pristine beauty and wonders of life, even though not so real. Moment to moment yet right now. But there is such thing as life, existence. And it can be experienced through the understanding, the true mind and the mundane mind. Because only through all this, the third phase of Dhamma become a living reality. That's why Kuan Yin Bodhisattva realized he had a very famous saying, 真空妙语. When you have realized true emptiness, there is wonderful existence. And that existence is very wonderful. That's why 你很奥妙, very amazing, 很神奇 all that. Then when you are in this spiritual field, you develop a lot of extraordinary encounter and understanding. Then a lot of things that happen, it's like you can never believe it can happen. 真的不可思议. Then, wow, all the wonderful and beautiful thing will just arrive. Then you know, this thing cannot happen to normal living being. 它就是这样. That's why it's called wonderful. Okay, very good. We should rejoice.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So we should thank all of us, especially some, for creating the causes and conditions for all this understanding to arise. That's why this sutta, the Lotus Sutra, is really a wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutta. 妙法，法已经妙，它是莲花，呀，爸爸是不是呀？呀，你讲还可以
Actually 我想讲的是about莲花。我还记得我第一颗莲花我种的时候，我是在那个猪大便场那边，我用我的手去把它挖起来的。当下我根本没有想过那个肮脏还是什么，我只是我对它的 affinity 我也不懂为什么，我就把它挖回去种。然后当下我的 understanding， 我种了之后的时候，那当下我看它是好像 Brad 就讲的出污泥而不染，就停在那边。但是现在我看那个莲花是不一样的，
不一样的，
因为它是一个清净无染的心。
对，
那个，所以我想加这个一点罢了。感恩 Brad 感恩 Brad 自己教导我们。阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛。Actually, in the Amitabha Sutta, it's very beautiful. They got one saying, 莲花处处开. You all can remember, no? 一朵一净土. Oh, that description is very beautiful. Means the lotus flower is blooming everywhere. And every of these lotus is a pure land. 一朵一净土. You just imagine the vow of the Amitabha Buddha, and it can make the existential world having pure land, to cultivate, to live life, to develop the understanding and all this. That's why all these are so beautiful when you understand. And lotus is a very good description of enlightenment. That's why you look at the enlightened being, underneath their leg is all the lotus. Then you have the aura, the enlightenment aura. So these are the symbol of what the Dhamma can actually give rise to. That's why it's very beautiful. Okay, we share merit. Akasata cha bhumata devanaga mahindika punyantam anumoditva shirarakantu loka sasana Ittavata chamehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo Devo vasakalena sasa sampati hetu cha hito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamena mame bala samagamo sutang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu Okay, you can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Guanyin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we end the whole Zoom session. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.